that big one come out.
There you go. Man, that's a big one you got there.
That big one come out there.
Well,
Heck
yeah.
No, he got it, he got it.
Let it go. I sure had fun just watching him stretch my line.
There he is.
Oh, it's two of them. I got two of them. Holy cow, look at that. Look at that. Got one on each side.
We going fishing, boy.
Oh, my, look at that. They're both good ones, too. Bring your fish over. You bragging about your big fish.
Oh.
There we go, girl.
I always like that, Jimmy. Hey.
There's one. Come and eat that. Whoa, what a way to start. What a way to start right there. Look at that fish. I'm at Bienville Plantation. We just got here. It's been years since I've been at Bienville Plantation in North Florida. And we just got here. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. We've only got a couple hours before it's going to get dark. But what a way to start right there. Oh, yeah, look at that fish. Jumps up there and grabs that old Jimmy Houston Legend spinnerbait. That is the way to start. Look how healthy that fish is. Now that is a Florida sugar booger right there. That is a good one, man. I've chose a double willow leaf to start with today, chartreuse and white, and I've got a gold blade on the end, a nickel blade on the shaft. It's got a little bit larger Jimmy Houston blade on it than what a normal 3/8 bait would have. That allows you normally to catch a little bit larger fish. You still catch small fish on it, which I usually prove every time I go that you can catch small fish. I have a chance of getting a bite all the way back to the boat. That was right up on the bank. That's where most of them ought to be, really. There's grass all under the boat right where I am. What's a good little fish right there, too. Look how fat he is. Well, these fish down here in Florida are dark. A Florida bass is a lot darker fish, and one of the reasons they're darker, of course, this water's kind of tannic down here. It's got a lot of tannic in it, and it's a little bit darker color water. It's clear, but it looks black, and it makes those fish look black too. Makes them pretty hard to see, I know that. It's hard to look down the water and see them. And we might find some beds, I don't know. We ought to have a few fish bedding right now. There's a fish. Come here, baby. Come here, baby doll. Baby Huey strikes again. Come here. Boy, you fat little rascal. That's a little girl bass right there. Yes, it is. Maybe that 2/0 hook's big enough, huh? Can't hook them much better than that. I don't know how I'm gonna get it unhooked. Good lands, Jimmy. You need to hook a 12-pounder that way, son. I got one of those. Come here, baby. You gotta be careful. You bend hooks around when you have to use needle nose on a worm hook, but I don't have much choice. I can't get it undone. There we go. That's a good little fish right there. That's the smallest one I've caught, and that's a nice fish. You know, it's about 14 inches long, but fat, healthy. Pretty little girl. One of the things about using a larger size worm, like I've done right here, and I could keep on using that, but you see the way this worm's got all these joints in there? Here's one thing you can do. That's a big worm. That's a 10-inch worm. Bite that first joint off and just use the worm. You still got a big worm there, and you can actually catch several fish on one worm. And I've said for years that the best scent you can put on a worm, there's a lot of good scents. You know, I like to use crawfish scent, shad scent, but the best scent you can put on there is the scent of another bass. You know, when you caught a bass on there you go, just like having a brand new worm. There's one. You know what's happening? Every fish I've caught's got a little smaller than the fish before. Oh, every fish I've caught has got a little smaller. Jimmy, it's not supposed to work that way. Unless you start out with a 12-pounder or something. That's still a nice little 12, 13-inch fish, but good gosh. I need to get, if I'm gonna do that, I need to catch about a 7-pounder and then start moving backwards. That's okay, I'll take them. I tell you what I'm doing. We got some wind and cloud cover and we got rain coming in here, you know, it's like a 90% chance of rain tomorrow, so we don't really know how that day's gonna turn out, but Bentonville is kind of a maze of water. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of acres of water and well managed and incredibly large fish and healthy fish. But it's a maze of water. And we got a nice breeze blowing today and we got cloud cover, which obviously anyone knows that that's a perfect situation for a spinnerbait. And what I'm doing is when I'm out in the wind, you know, like once we get around that point, we're going to be out where the wind's blowing. We're getting that wind, I'll pick my spinnerbait back up and go down the windy bank with my spinnerbait, and then when I get on the areas that is protected and it's calm, that's when I pick that baby Huey worm up and throw it in. And worm seems to be working pretty good. I really haven't fished it all that much. Of course, you're not going to cover nearly as much water with a worm as you do a spinnerbait, but and it seems like you know, the fish I caught on a spinnerbait was a little bit larger fish, but it doesn't matter to me as long as I'm getting a bite. I like them all. I love them all. They're all beautiful to me. When I get back in the wind, I'm going to pick that spinnerbait up and throw it down where that wind's beating in on the bank.
This portion of Jimmy Houston Outdoors has been brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Jimmy Houston Outdoors, America's favorite fishing show, is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. By Mercury Marine, go boldly. By Shell Rotella, the engine oil that works as hard as you do. And by O'Reilly Auto Parts, better parts, better prices every day.
Catch and release all largemouth bass. I love it, I love it, I love it. That's exactly what I like right there. We're fishing Lake Jackson today. Obviously it says Osceola County, Florida. It's right outside of St. Cloud, Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Florida. And I'm gonna be fishing with my buddy Eric Jackson on Jackson Kayaks. I'm fishing out of the Blue Sky kayak today. Eric will be fishing out of a regular Jackson kayak. And we've never fished this lake before. It's in the Three Lakes Management Area, and we've never been here before. One of the great things about Florida is there are literally thousands of lakes. We think of Lake Okeechobee, Toho, Kissimmee, St. Johns River, all of those great places, but there are thousands of lakes. And you can see here by the parking lot, a lot of people are out there fishing. It's not a real large lake, but a lot of people are out there. Other people waiting to load right here, so it's a great place. And we're going to catch any? I have no idea, but we're sure going to try. Let's get after them. I don't even need a car. I'll launch without kind of like that, huh? Why don't you wipe my seat off, Eric? Eric can't hear nothing. That's when he don't answer, he's not ignoring me. Well, sometimes he's ignoring me. He can't hear anything. He reads lips. He can't hear anything. My question was, why didn't you wipe my seat off?
This is some good-looking water, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Got some hydrilla.
Oh, this is good-looking stuff. Finally caught him. I missed that fish twice before I caught him. Not a bad little bass. Yeah, not bad. Woo. I missed him twice before I caught him. Come here, baby doll. Come here, sugar bear. Boy, he's skinny. It's a catch and release lake. It looks like maybe they ought to put more feed in here. We saw some tilapia beds, so I know they got tilapia. I wonder if that was the same fish
Yeah, way to get it started.
Wonder if that's the same fish I missed. Or we moved over here on kind of the lee side of the lake, which is really helped.
Fish. Wow.
Get it? That's a
Right at
giant.
the boat. I didn't really get to fight him. He just kind of flew right out of the water. Hey, little guy. You like my swim jig, huh? He hit my swim jig.
They might hit a spinnerbait and it clouds up.
That was pretty funny. Hook set to boat landing all in one shot.
Come here, baby. Come here, sugar. Come here, sugar. I'm gonna tell you, this fishing in Florida is absolutely made for those pow sticks. I mean, just fish it without a weight on there. And it's real shallow water. I mean, it seems like you don't have any water at all, and you can really work on these fish. You can really work on these fish with those baits, and you don't have a weight, so you hardly ever lose one. You know, every now and then a big one will get off. Boy, that Daiichi hook rams them. I mean, rams them. Ha! 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 Set the hook on that guy and jerked him about 3 feet out of the water. Come here, guy. Come here, feller. You're not exactly the size I was looking for. I thought that was gonna be a giant when he hit. I got big on my mind. Well, that hook is smashing them. I can't hardly get them unhooked. Ooh. I mean, it is smashing them.
Good job finding the fish, Jimmy.
Got to find the big ones. Where there's little ones, there's big ones. Is that right or not? Eric can't hear, so I'm going to answer for him. Well, there could be big ones here, but there might not be. I got to get that boy a hearing aid sponsor. Huh? I got to get me a hearing aid sponsor. Everybody I know of my age needs one. Need a good hearing aid sponsor.
Jimmy's Look Back is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time.
Well, he's bigger than mine.
Yeah.
Now, you notice what a good guy I am, Bobby. I threw out there and caught the little bitty small one off of the stick and left the larger one there.
I appreciate that. At least I can't get skunked on TV anyway.
You can't. You can't. I'll tell you what.
Mom, that's big as I can get right there.
I'll tell you what, they may be getting bigger on that little stick. You know, a lot of times you find just a little isolated one log like that, and we've been going down this bank here and fishing, just kind of coming off the bank, and you found one log like that. A lot of times there's a bunch of fish stacked up on them. In fact, I'd rather find an area that's just got an isolated log or two on it than just, you know, logs laying all up and down the bank. Because you got a place where you know where they are. Oh, you got a problem, don't you?
Yeah, I need a worm.
You don't have an auger-tail worm.
I need a worm, boss.
Well, let's see.
I wouldn't let you run out of golf balls now.
I could probably trade these worms today for some new titles.
Yes, you could, baby. Name your price. You name them.
Oh. You know, when we get people, go fishing with people that make their living playing like you and I do. Now, we call it work, you know, but a lot of people call it playing. I got to ask this question. Would you rather be out here fishing or would you rather be hitting that white ball?
No, I'd rather be right here.
Fishing. Well, that's just about the answer we get every time.
Yeah. What would you rather be doing?
I'd rather be fishing, but I like to hit that ball, too.
Don't worry about me throwing over top of you right here.
I'll go right ahead.
Oh, yes.
Well, they like to jump this time of the year, don't they? Yeah.
Well, isn't this lake called the Jumping Lake?
The Jumping Lake. One more time. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, baby. Now, there's where you're supposed to hook them, Bobby.
Well, that's where I had mine hooked, but I couldn't get it out.
The perfect deal is dead center, you know. That's a
Well, so you
true
got to
term.
remember, I got the U.S. Open next week. I'm trying to save my thumbs here. I mean, you
I
know.
understand.
Jimmy's Look Back has been brought to you by Ranger Boats.
I thought you was going to power pole down. There you go. Finally.
Hey, it's a nice one.
That's a nice fish.
Oh,
That's a good fish. Way to go.
check that out.
I wish I could power pole down.
He nailed my swim jig. I didn't even think I still had a fish. He was just swimming to the side.
Really?
Hey, Jimmy, it's for you.
All right. That'll make them happy.
You got to remember not to...
You got to remember what? I don't know why I ask him questions.
Remind me to watch my mouth out when I get home.
Did you say something dirty? He caught that one on a swim jig. If he's got that fish on a swim jig, they ought to hit the spinnerbait. This is exactly the kind of days you need in Florida for spinnerbait. A little cloud cover, sun's peeking in and out, and wind. Wind is probably the most important thing. I think we'll catch them on that spinnerbait. They're hitting that pow stick, but it's so windy, sometimes it's hard to get on the bottom. If I had a power pole on here, it would be a lot better. I'd have power pole down right there beside where he caught that one, and I'd have caught 4. Well, maybe only 3, I don't know. Come here, guy. Oh, not that bad. Come here, little feller. I don't see how that one got off a minute ago because I ain't even hardly been able to unhook them all day long. That Daiichi hook smashes them. I can't hardly get the hook out of them even. God, you'd think the barb is so huge on it. It's amazing. Yeah, buddy. That little darker color got a couple of bites. I don't know if that means anything or not. I guess what it means is that darker color got a couple of bites, huh? Wrestle him out of there, Eric. That's a mighty long flip. I thought that was a giant. Well, he is a giant.
There's a lot of work pulling with all those lily pads.
I know.
Hey, you were a lot of work, I'm telling you.
You tore up a lot of real estate to get him in.
Little guy. Little hungry one.
He's right on that one little isolated pad right there. One little isolated pad. Come here, sugar bear. Come here. I'll see it around here. Sit down. We're catching a lot of fish just about the same size, just about a 2-pound bass. The majority of them, I'm sure, are males. So that looks like that's a male bass right there. And I don't know where their big old girlfriends are. They ought to have some big girlfriends right here that we should be catching, and we're not. And I don't really totally understand that.
Come on in.
A Jackson Lake bass. Your lake has got small bass in it, Eric.
Man. Little wind blowing, little clouds, and boom. That was awesome.
Jimmy Houston Outdoors is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. By High Seas, when the money's on the line. By Jackson Kayak, Advantage Fisherman. By Orion Coolers, never lose your cool. And by Lucky Strike, where preparation and opportunity collide. Houston's Helpful Hints is brought to you by Jimmy Houston High-Tech Performance Fishing Rods.
There's 2 or 3 things you want to think about when you're fishing bass on a bed. One is don't ever keep them. Throw them back. Second thing to think about is you almost have to make them bite. You can catch the fish just right sometimes when you throw in there, and I've seen it happen many times, and you throw in there and you're 2 fish on the bed and they both race to your bait. and usually the smallest one gets it first. But you want to take baits that look like crawfish or look like salamanders or look like lizards. And I like to basically just rig a regular Texas style, a little small slip sinker. We've had real calm weather, so you can get by with an 1/8 ounce or 16th ounce slip sinker. And something like this little Ringmaster, which is a little Lucky Strike creature type bait. I don't know really what it looks like, some kind of foreign creature, I guess, or something, but might be Russian for all I know. But it really kind of emulates a little crawfish or a little salamander. But one of the key things is if you can get a fish to just pay attention to it and look at it and turn on it and go down on it a little bit, you're probably going to be able to catch that fish. Now, it may take a lot of time, but here's one of the tricks that we use all the time is we change baits. We might make 4 or 5 casts of this bait, pick another bait up, put it on, pick another bait up, put it on. And I like to change colors. You know, a green pumpkin, obviously the most popular color of soft plastic there is, but I like baits that have got reds in them, baits that's got some chartreuse, even solid white. 1 or 2 fish today, solid white work. So change baits around as you're fishing. Little drop shot rigs work good. We can throw in there and let the bait float up off the bottom. I've even caught them on the little Ned rigs. You can use a wide variety of things, but the main thing is you get them to set up where they'll stay in there. Change baits a lot. Use different baits, and you'll finally find one that works.
Well, it's late in the day and the sun's getting low. Caught me a big one, but I let him go. I sure had fun just watching him stretch my line.